Welcome back, everybody. Today we will be looking at a 3D graphics engine that I built myself. So here I have my 3D graphics engine. It's not that impressive, but I can run it. See, I can put in here X. I have that as I have this input here, and it draws a cube. That's all I have so far, but I can move. I'm actually controlling this point. I can move over here, but I don't have a while or like a game loop or anything. So I have to run the whole thing over again. I can show you one more time. This time we're gonna put in. I put in some other ones. See, oh, now it's just a front view. So that's what I have so far, and basically, so it's not very impressive. But I have all the fundamental parts of this, and as you can see here, I've displayed basically a 3D object on a 2D screen. Let's look at how it works. First, let's imagine that there's a 3D world behind the screen, and the screen is a window. What the player can see in the 3D world is called the field of view. Now, just a warning, I'll be using some pretty complicated math for many viewers not familiar with trigonometry. So if you're not, please just bear with me. Let's start with some variables. So right here I have my player at PLX and PLZ, which is the X and the Z. This is the obstacles X and obstacles Z. So we're just using the black point as one point in the obstacle. This is the player angle, so the angle the player is facing. Next, we have a field of view. So this is the field of view because this is the screen, and this is what the player can see of the digital world. Since I've already figured this out, I know that we'll need this distance. So this is the distance between the player and the screen, and this distance is going to be called the focal distance. Now the focal distance is going to equal this width here, which I'm going to call the display width. So display width, so DSW, or DisW, not DS, divided by the tangent of the field of view angle over 2. So this equals the focal distance. So we're going to need to remember this for later, and so that we can do some other math calculating where to put this point on the screen. Now that we have our set variables, we can figure out the rest of this math. I think that the easiest method for this is to work backward. So let's see. What do we want? What is going to be our output? Well, it's going to be the coordinates of this point on the screen. So if we draw this line in, it's going to be that point right here. We can find the coordinates by finding the distance from some fixed point on the screen. This shouldn't be too hard since we have this amazing tool called the Law of Cosines, which states that c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab times cosine of c, where a, b, and c are sides and capital C is the opposite angle from side C. This means that with this angle that I labeled here sofa, which is this angle here, and this side here being side A, this side being side B, we can find this side, which is the distance between a fixed point, the midpoint of the screen, and the point and this point, which is going to be the coordinates. And since we also know that this is a right angle, we can say that this side squared plus this side squared equals this side squared. And since this side is labeled C, this is A, and this is B, that means that A squared plus C squared equals B squared. And so now that we have two distinct equations, now we can find a simplified version of both of these. So here's the math. I did it, and so now it's done. I just arrived at the answer up here. I've already done this before, so it wasn't a surprise when I got the answer. But if you could please pause it and check for any errors if you want to. It'd be very nice, and if you find any errors, please leave it in the comments, and it'd be very helpful. So now that our math is done, I flipped over the other side and I substituted everything that we established before. So this is I assigned this now DFM, distance from midpoint. So DFM is equal to, all that. So, but now that we have that, the only problem is that we haven't defined sofa. To find sofa, we're going to take this regular offset angle. This is something that we'll find later. And subtract 180 and then add the player angle. So what is the offset angle? So offset angle, as I've labeled here, OFA, is this angle here in this triangle of the X offset and Z offset. So since we have this angle, or we can find this angle by taking this side over this side, right? This side over this side equals the tangent of this, because opposite over adjacent. This means that we can say that tangent of offset angle equals offset X over offset Z, which means then that offset angle equals inverse tangent of offset X over offset Z. So this is going to be our offset angle. So now once we have this offset angle, we still have two variables that we haven't defined yet. But these are going to be easy. Offset X, well, it's just going to be player X minus obstacle X. And then the same for Z. So now we have found the coordinate just using already defined variables. And so the thing is now we only have the distance from a midpoint. That is definitely good, but it's not actually the screen coordinate. So I'm just going to say that we're doing this in pixel length. And so distant, oh shoot, this isn't, whatever. So we've got distance from midpoint minus the display width over 2 equal to X coordinate. So now we've got the X coordinate. From here on, in the math, we can just substitute all things pertaining to X for Y, and then we have the Y coordinate. So now that you know the math behind it, we can go back, and I'm going to add a little to this. So here I added a little bit to my 3D graphics engine. So what I did is down here, I put this all in a while. Oh wait, no, that's right. In a while loop, and and I also programmed in some arrow keys. So now you can move the player around. You can't rotate him or anything yet, but yeah, let's try this out. So, yeah, as you can see, I can just move back and forth here. Can't move up or down yet, but to start, I should probably delete the hello world part. That was just a debugging thing that I did before. But yeah, that's what I have right now. I'll just I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look up on Google. It's amazing. Google's amazing, right? I keys. So key code first. Again. Okay, so it's just that. Okay, that makes sense. Well, so kill the program. So I'm gonna add two more. Have these as W and origins to Y. Y here. And S. Okay. See? Okay, so yeah, oh shoot. I accidentally switched them around. I accidentally did that. Okay, well, we're gonna want to fix that. But after I do this, I think I'm gonna close out. Thanks for watching. And I hope you like this. I hope you like this. So WS all works dandy. Fine and dandy. I might what? Why is this? Everything is reversed. Why is that happening? Okay, something's wrong, but I'm gonna fix that sometime else. Thanks for watching. As always, like this video and subscribe.